Good morning. It's day 6 before the auction at the Owl House, and I decided to do some daily musings from the Owl House steps. And one of the things I wanted to talk about this morning was shame. So that's one of the words that I mentioned in the video, that we wanted to create a place where people felt safe to come and share stuff around shame. And yeah, embarking on this big campaign to raise money, albeit on behalf of a community, I'm feeling a kind of deep discomfort around all of that, but knowing that I have to kind of grin and bear it for a bit. So, but I wanted to tell you a story about shame and poetry this morning. I wanted to tell you about my mum. So my mum was born in 1934, and at the age of 5, she was evacuated to a little village outside of Burton-on-Trent because of the war. She's only 5 years old, and yeah, she stayed with a woman and her brother. And she loved this man that he used to grow vegetables and take her for rides on the front of his bike. And, you know, they used to show the vegetables and go, yeah, had many prizes, etc. He was a miner as well. And, but kind of on her very first day in a new school, basically, the teacher asked if anybody knew any poetry. Yeah, enthusiastic 5-year-old went, yes, I do. And yeah, basically, she recounted the poetry she'd been taught by her uncle, which was all these songs, you know, that she'd learned from her home in Birmingham, near Bourneville. And it was, you don't put your muck in our dustbin, our dustbin, our dustbin. You don't put your muck in our dustbin. Whatever the words were. And I think she was met with laughter. And the teacher said, that's not poetry. And from that day forward, you know, my mum thought, I don't know any poetry. And she felt she was never going to volunteer to do something like that again. And, you know, a little bit of her spirit was just dampened that day. That meant, you know, more shyness, more reservedness came into play. And then that passes through the generations, doesn't it? And, you know, the effect of a tiny little incident like that can just send ripples over time, can't it? So one of the things I do when I work with people with their voices is trying to get them to listen to their own voice without judgment. And that is easier said than done. But, you know, over time, just that listening and trying to find no judgment and noticing when we do judge and just letting it be okay, you know, it slowly starts to work some magic. So these are some of the things that we would like to do here at the Owl House, is to provide a space where people can come and share whatever they think their poetry is, and, you know, to not feel ashamed about who they are or what they want to talk about, or their feelings coming up as well. So there'll perhaps be more musings from the Owl House steps tomorrow morning. Look forward to seeing you then.